you guys, and welcome back to your favorite crochet channel. I hope you all are having an amazing day so far. And today I'm here to teach you how to make this beautiful top. So I don't know if you've seen my last video. That's where I crocheted this beauty. And because I got so many questions on how exactly I did it and if I can make a tutorial, I was like, okay, let's go. So enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out my socials and tag me in your recreations, because that's the most beautiful part about doing tutorials, to see you guys in the pieces that I try to explain to you. So please tag me or send me pictures or whatever. I'm excited to see. And now it's time to put on your favorite playlist and to crochet together with me. Enjoy, and I hope everything makes sense. I tried my best. Have a good day. Okay, you guys, so here's everything we're gonna need. I'm gonna use two different sizes of my hook. One is 4.0 millimeters and the other one 2.5 millimeters, because we're gonna use a lot of different yarns with different yarn sizes. So that's just like some examples what I'm gonna use, like this thicker wool, then I have some thinner cotton, I have some mohair. I think that's gonna look very cute, and like just different leftovers from other projects. Like this one is very, very thin. That's gonna look very cute also, I think. And this one is perfect for our first body part. I think this mixed with this one, because we're gonna start off with this body part, like this big non-see-through front part of the top, and I'm gonna use the two thickest yarn sizes I have, because that's gonna make it like not see-through. And yeah, we're gonna start with this part right here. Let's go. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna do a size small in the top. So I would recommend you, if you want it to fit perfectly in the end, just try it on a lot. So always measure it. Maybe you have a top that the size is perfect and you can compare it to, kind of. Otherwise, just like put it on your body as many times as possible, and to see if you maybe need to add some more crochets to the side. Or less. Yes, so this part is what we're going to start off, like this light beige part, and it's 45 half double crochets in 8 rows. So let's start with that. As always, if you need some more detailed explanations of the stitches I'm going to use, everything will be linked down below in the description, like a more detailed tutorial for each stitch that I'm using. So make sure to check that out, and let's jump right in. I'm going to start off with this leftover yarn that I have right here. And I'm going to do my slip knot. Doot, doot. And gonna chain up 45 times. We got the first chain. Now what you have to make sure of is that this chain has to fit like right from the side of your chest, right across your chest, and needs to like end here. And if it's too short, make sure to add some more chains. If it's too long, make sure to leave some out. And keep in mind that if you're going to start with your half double crochets, like chaining here, it's going to be a bit tighter in the end. So yeah, make sure to add some more chains if it's a bit too short. Now we're going to add another chain, and then we're going to start with our half double crochets. So double crochet not just the first stitch, but the second one. And then pull through all of the 3. And we're going to do that till we are at the end of the row. And then basically for another 8 rows, so see you soon. Okay, you guys, so my first row is done. I'm gonna chain up one now, turn around the project. I'm gonna start half double crocheting right into the first stitch. And I'm gonna continue with this for another 7 rows. You can also check again, like right now, if it still fits. If not, make sure to open the row again and add some more chains. And I would say, see you later when we're finished with another 7 rows. Woo. Time for some German trash TV. Okay, you guys, I finished this first part and I'm not sure, I think I did 6 rows or something, but what really matters is the measurement. So I'm now at 7.5 centimeters, I think. So let me show you real quick. As always, I would recommend you to kind of like measure this. That's what it looks like on my body now. And I'm gonna add some more rows with a different yarn. But if you have a bit more boobs than I do, just make sure that you're comfortable with the length of this part. So I think I'm gonna add another 2 rows, like so it ends right here. But if you want it to be like to cover a bit more, just add some more rows. And yeah, that's it. Let's continue with the new yarn. I think I'm gonna use this fluffier one. So to change the yarn, I'm gonna start with the last half double crochet, but like I'm not closing it with this yarn. I'm gonna take the new yarn right now. And I am going to take the new yarn right here and pull it through this. Then pull everything tight and chain up 1, turn around and start with the half double crochets again. And now I'm gonna continue for another 2 rows, again with half double crochets. Okay, you guys, I did the 2 rows with this thicker yarn, and now, as you can see, I'm already done with this part. And now what I am going to do is I'm going to continue with the same yarn as I did like these last 2 rows, and I'm going to start off with kind of like this part of the top where the sleeve is going to start. And how we are going to do that is we are going to continue with half double crochets. So we're going to chain up 1, turn around the project, and now we're not going to chain like this whole row. We're going to do around 10 half double crochets. So I'm going to do 10 half double crochets. Actually, I think I'm going to go for 11. So another 1. Now chain up 1, turn around. And what we're going to do now is, as you can see right here, so I started off with 11 chains and then I decreased the number of the chains like step by step in each row, so that it kind of like goes in this triangle shape. And the only thing you have to do to achieve this triangle shape is to skip the first chain where you would like start with your half double crochet now. Just skip that and go into the second one. Usually I will do the first half double crochet right here into this one, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go into this one. So 1, 2, 3, And now you should end up with 10 and not 11 chains. Now chain up 1, turn around, and continue in the first stitch. And 10. For number 10, I'm gonna do only like this slip stitch, like this. Then chain up 1, turn around, and again skip this first stitch where you would usually go in. Continue in the second one. And you can already see how this kind of line forms. It's gonna be like this in the end. Chain up 1, turn around. Now, because we're going to this direction, don't skip the first one, just go right here. Chain up 1, turn around. Next row, so we are not going to crochet to this one, but the second one. Seven. Chain up 1, turn around. Skip the first one. Half double crochet in the second one. And just continue with this until you have reached a number of 5 chains in this row. Okay, you guys, so now you should kind of look like this. And when you arrive at like the part of the sleeve thingy where you only have 5 chains left, you're going to continue with this for a long time. I can count the stitches for you, but it wouldn't make any sense. I would just recommend you to start this and continue it as long as you think you're gonna need it. But if it's too short in the end, don't worry, you can just always add like some more parts. That's what I did here. So this I added after I added this. So just continue for as long as you want it to be. I can show you on my body for 1 second. So this is where it's gonna be in the end, and this sleeve thingy is gonna go like all like over your shoulder, then to the back, and then even longer because you're gonna have like tie it together in the end. So continue for as long as you want. You guys, this is how long I'm gonna do it for now. I'm gonna just like chain up 1 and cut off the yarn. Just as a reference. This is gonna be here, and this is gonna continue in like the back part. So what we're gonna do now is this part right here, and so that we can add this part of single and double crochets, we have to add like a small part right here underneath. So where you're gonna add this part is in the first 15 to 20 chains. You can do it however you like it most on your body and for as long as you want it to be. I did 9 of these double crochets where I skipped 1 all the time, so in total I did 20 chains. So I'm gonna start off like just like right here with 10 of these double crochets where you skip 1 of the chains every time and randomly continue. So turn your project around so that this part is on your right hand. take your yarn, like whatever yarn you want to use. I'm going to use the same one like I did here, and start off with a slip knot, then slip it right through this last stitch right here, chain up 1, 2, 3, skip 1 stitch and crochet into the second one. So not into this first one, but into the second one is where I'm gonna do 1 double crochet. I'm gonna chain up 1 and do another double crochet, not into the next stitch, but into the second one. And just like that, we're gonna create this kind of like mesh stitch where you always skip 1 of the half double crochets we did in this row. So always chain up 1 and double crochet not into the next but into the second one. And I'm gonna continue with this until I end up with 10 of the double crochets. Light change, it's evening now. I started with the second row of this little small part down here, and I'm gonna start with like a new pattern kind of, so I'm not gonna continue with this skipping part, but with double crochets in each of the stitches. Chain up 1, turn around, and start with these last 2 rows, which are double crochets, 2 rows, and we're gonna leave the last 2 of these stitches out. So just continue with double crocheting until you arrive here, and then we're going to start with the second row. So now again until here we're going to do our double crochets, but 1 through this hole and 1 right here, another 1 through this hole, and last 1 right here. Good. As you can see right here, I did another one of the double crochet rows, but I think for this yarn size I'm fine with 1 row, because as you can see it's kind of similar from the length, but here it's only 1 double crochet row, here it's 2, because the yarn size is different. So just make sure that you're fine with the length of it. If you want to take some measurements, mine is around 4 centimeters. For now, I'm going to chain up 1, cut off the yarn, pull it through, and it's time to start with this side part. So as you can see, this is the body part, and that's where the sleeve's gonna go in the end. And what we're gonna do now is, this is what we have already. We now need this part, and we're gonna start off with single crochets right from this part to this part. If you take a look at my project, it's gonna be from here till there. So as you can see, from the part where you switched to the yarn that you used for this part, that's where you're gonna start, and you're gonna do it until the end. And then from this row on, we're gonna continue into this direction. So now just take the yarn you wanna use. I'm gonna use the one I also used for this middle part. I'm gonna do slip knot, and I'm gonna slip it right through this part right here, where I also, as you can see, changed the yarn from this smaller one to the thicker one. If you want to make sure that this stays tight, you can always pull it tight and make a knot, or maybe two, so that these stay together. Now take your new yarn with your slip knot, and we're gonna slip it right through this part. Chain up one, and now we're gonna crochet into this direction with single crochets. And because we're now kind of like crocheting at the side part, we don't have these little V loops that we're usually crocheting into, so just randomly crochet just the way that it feels right. Usually what I do is I go, like, if you see these lines, I go 2 times in one row. Like in between these 2 lines, I do 2 single crochets. So now that I started here, I'm gonna do 1 right into this part. One. And then into this part, I'm gonna do 2. So 1 here, the next one maybe here. It really doesn't matter where you place your single crochets, it's just important that we have these to start crocheting into this direction with some other patterns. So don't worry about it, just randomly do some single crochets. So when you're done with your single crochets, make sure to chain up 1 and turn around the project. And I just counted my stitches and I ended up with 16 single crochets. If it's like a bit more or a bit less, doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. It's important that it fills like this whole part right here. And now if you place your body part in front of you like this, we're gonna start crocheting into this direction, and you can use whatever patterns you want to use and whatever stitch types. For me, I'm gonna recreate it just exactly the same like here. Maybe not exactly, but kind of gonna use the same stitches. So for now, just start crocheting random pattern that you like for 10 centimeters. So this is, for example, is 2 rows of double crochets, then these, like, I'm not sure what this is called, this double crochet skip 1 stitch kind of thing, and then another row of double crochets, then another row of this. Just an example, but you can use whatever yarn, whatever pattern, whatever you want to use. And then we're gonna meet later when I'm finished. Woo, you guys, happy new day. That's where we ended up yesterday, and what we're gonna have a look at now is you have to make sure that this side part is long enough so that the strap is straight in the back, and these kind of like can go together perfectly. If this is a bit too short, so that the strap would be here, just add some more rows so that it fits like this. Hope that makes sense. So for me, this is enough from the length. I just did this part, and now we're gonna crochet these pieces together so that we have this little arm part where we can add the sleeve later. Let's do that. Additional note, to make sure that you crochet the 2 pieces together at the right part, kind of like try it on and put it on your body the way that you want it to fit in the end. Make sure to kind of like pull it a bit tighter so that you have some support. And what you can do is you can take these little pins or safety pins or whatever you want to use, and mark down where you want it to be together. Doesn't have to be pretty, but just so you have kind of like something as an orientation. And down there. So I'm gonna do it like this, and in the end this is gonna tie together. Let's crochet these pieces together. Okay, let's crochet these two pieces together. I'm gonna do a slip stitch with a new yarn, and then I'm gonna use a technique that I'm gonna link down below. It's a bit difficult to explain, but there are so many easier versions to crochet these pieces together. Simply just do whatever you want to do. So I'm gonna start from the bottom, just simple single crochets. I'm gonna end this with a slip stitch. Cut off the excess yarn, pull it through, and pull it tight. And now we have connected our little side part. And this right here is where the sleeve is gonna start in the end. But first, we're going to continue with the body part because we have to kind of like repeat this right here. So now, lay this piece in front of you just like that. And now what we're gonna do is, if we have a look at this example, we already did this part and this part. Now we're gonna do this little part, and then we're gonna start with this second strap of the sleeve that's gonna go in the back, and then the same thing like we did on this side with the side part is gonna go right here till there. So we're gonna start with 4 rows of double crochets in any yarn that you want to use, and then we're going to do another row before we're going to start with the strap, and we're going to kind of like decrease the pattern right here. I'm going to show you later how to do that, and I'm gonna put one pin right here where I want this part to end, and that's right here. If you wanna know the measurements, 1 second. I'm gonna leave out 7 to 8 centimeters, 7.5 centimeters. And the double crochets are gonna go from here till there, and then like this. So take the yarn that you wanna use. I'm gonna use this a bit thinner one. Start with your slip knot. And pull it right through the last stitch on this side. Chain up 2. And start with your double crochets in each stitch. Okay, I'm almost done with the first row. I have 2 stitches left, and I'm gonna do 1 single crochet now. And then the next one is gonna be just a slip stitch. So go in, through and up. And then we're gonna turn around the project like that. Chain up 1 and go into the second stitch with first a single crochet, then a second single crochet, And then you can start again with double crochets. And that's how we are gonna achieve this little swoop in the beginning. Because now when you do your double crochets till the end of the row again, you're gonna see that it's gonna create a straight line again. But in the front we have this little not straight kind of line, just kind of like on this side. So continue until the end of the row and then we're gonna meet again. So I arrived at the end of the second row. Make sure to always go into this very last stitch so that there's a straight line in the end. And I want to change my yarn right now because I want to use some of the mohair now. So I'm not going to close up the last double crochet completely. I'm going to use the new yarn for this, but you can also continue with this yarn you already used. I just want to change it up a bit. Pull everything tight, chain up 2, turn around your project, and again do the double crochets right until kind of like here. And then we're going to do single crochet, slip stitch, and then turn around and do slip stitch, single crochet, and then double crochets again. So I'm going to do my double crochets until this point and then we're going to meet. Okay, you guys, almost done with my third row. I'm now going to do 1 single crochet first and then 1 slip stitch. Oops. Slip stitch. Then turn around your project and do 1 single crochet to the next stitch, another single crochet, probably another single crochet, and then double crochets again. It's a bit hard to see with the mohair yarn. And continue with your double crochets and it should kind of go in one line, just like that. Don't worry if it's a bit like this, because that's also kind of very cool because we're doing this distressed look, so don't worry if it's not the perfectly straight line. It's gonna look cool in the end, trust me. So continue with your double crochets till you're at the end of the row, then we're gonna meet again. So I'm about to do my last double crochet and I'm gonna change my yarn again, so I'm not gonna close my double crochet with this yarn, but I'm gonna use this one. That's the type of yarn that you're gonna use for the strap. So if you want to use a different color than on the other strap or a different yarn size, what I'm gonna do, then make sure to take another one. So take your yarn and close up this stitch, chain up 2 and pull it very tight and make sure to knot it together to make it extra secure. Cut up your yarn. And I'm gonna knot these 2 together right here. Turn around your project. Actually, what I'm gonna do is single crochets now for this row, so I'm gonna only have like 1 chain up, and now I'm gonna do single crochets for this row. As you can see, we're coming close to the part where we have to kind of like continue this line. So single crochets all the way along And right here, I'm gonna do a slip stitch like this, turn around my project, then chain up one. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start with the strap part. So we're going to do half double crochets again. So make sure to do 7 half double crochets now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then chain up 1. And this part, however long it is, just leave it out, because that's where the side part is gonna go, and we're gonna go do the strap part now. So don't worry about this, just leave it there. Turn around the project and start with your half double crochets again. And what we have to do now is, if you take your other strap that you already did, you have to make sure that this one that you're going to create now is kind of like the same size. So I'm going to do now another row of the half double crochets right until here. And now if I compare it, I'm gonna see that it kind of already is the perfect size, so I don't have to decrease it even more. It's just fine like that. So I'm gonna do another half double crochet right here, chain up 1, turn around the project, and repeat the same thing until you have a very long strap. Again, it's gonna go in the back in the end, so kind of do it like the same length as you did with this one on the other side of your shirt. So do that, and then we're going to meet back. Just continue with your half double crochets until this is kind of like long enough to be tied together with this one in the end. If not, don't worry, you can always add some more yarn in the end, but for now just continue so that it kind of is the same length as the other strap that we already did. So see you later. I'm gonna do my last stitch now. Chain up 1, cut off the yarn, slip through and pull it tight. And now we have the second strap. And what we're going to do now is just the same as we did on the other side. We're going to repeat this side part. So feel free to just repeat the same pattern or choose something different. We're going to start off with 1 row of single crochets, and from that on you can just go for whatever you like. So I'm going to take my yarn and start off with a slip knot. Now search your first row, mine is right here. Take your slip knot, pull it through, chain up 1, and now just like on the other side, just go for single crochets randomly where you think it fits. So I'm gonna start right here. Another one here. And continue with, continue with your single crochets until you are at the end of the row. Single crochet now, chain up 2, and I'm going to start with 1 row of double crochets, and yeah, then just a random pattern again. On my other project, I did a length of around 8 centimeters for this part. So I'm gonna do 8 centimeters again and then look what it looks like on my body. So let's go for that first and see you later. You guys, it's a new day. I finished connecting all the pieces together. So we have here part for sleeve number 1 and here for the sleeve number 2. This is our front part, and in the back we have these two to connect it in the back. If you want, you can now sew some of these pieces in. I'm gonna do that later on because I feel like it's a bit much. I'm still gonna leave some out because I kind of love this as a little detail to add to the distressed vibe. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add some details right here and down there. I can show you on the other top because that's one of my favorite parts. It's like this little mesh thingy where you just freestyle. So you just do a lot of chain ups, you do triple crochets, then do a big chain and kind of do whatever you want to do. So let's have a look on how I'm gonna do it. You can just freestyle or follow my steps, and we're gonna do the same down here just so that it has like a tiny bit of more connection from this part to this part. Just looks kind of a bit cooler. And I'm gonna use a very thin yarn, probably this one, or maybe also I'm thinking about using my mohair for the top part because I feel like it could look very cute. Let's see. Maybe I'm gonna try to do this with my mohair first, and if it doesn't look cool, I'm gonna do it again with this. So let's start. So I'm gonna start with a slip knot. It's gonna be a bit harder to see for you what I'm doing because of the mohair, I think, but I'm gonna try my best to explain. Oh. So, slip knot done. And now I'm gonna start probably just right here maybe. And start with some chain ups. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 is good. Then I'm gonna do a double crochet right here. Honestly, I'm just freestyling, so I'm not sure what I'm doing. But yeah, we're just gonna do like a big mesh kind of vibe. Now you can cut off your excess yarn. Pull it through, pull it tight. And now we have our first detail on the top. It's kind of giving me spider web vibes. Love it. Now we're gonna do kind of like the same thing, but on the top part. You can again freestyle if you want to, or you can follow my little random tutorial. Let's see. I'm gonna use mohair again because I really love the vibe that we're going for right here. So I'm gonna do a slip knot. I'm gonna start right here, I think. I'm gonna pull the yarn through, like the little loop we just created. Through. And start with chaining up. I don't know, probably 1, 2, 3, 4. Want to add it to the part right here. Double crochet, maybe there. Oh, I love this. This is so random. Slipping it through. And that's that, you guys. We have all the details. Oh, I love it. I think that's my favorite part of this top. So in some of these parts, if you have, like, for example, just like here, these two yarn ends like very close to each other, you can do some knots first and then kind of like sew them in, which means you can just, for example, here we have these two very close to each other. So I would recommend you to just do like 1 or 2 knots if you want to sew them in, and then you can take your hook and just kind of like find a random way where you can kind of like push the yarn through. And if you're happy with where it is, you can cut it off. And then that's how you kind of like sew them in. Because I feel like it adds a very nice vibe, all these ends, but sometimes it's a bit too much. So I'm gonna sew some of them in, but some of them I'm just gonna leave, to be honest. Time for the final try on of part number 1 for this distress top. I'm gonna make a second part for the sleeves because this tutorial is already so long. So let's do the final try on, because this is where we're gonna end the part number 1. It's kind of like the base of the top. The only thing that is missing now is the sleeves. So make sure to check out part number 2 for the sleeves. And I hope you understood everything till now. I tried my best to explain. And yeah, see you in part 2.